About cropping your photographs. This is a photograph that I took down Old Head a few months ago. It's off the pier at Old Head, and it's looking off towards the Mountain Patrick. As you can see, it's pretty flat and lifeless and all that, and that's because it's a raw file. That's the nature of files. But I can assure you that there's plenty of detail within the image itself. I processed the image in Lightroom. I just hit the black and white conversion option, and I played around with the sliders until I got this image, which I was happy with. So the image is processed, except for one thing. I was a little bit unhappy. There was something kind of missing in the image itself. So what I do, I knew it was the wrong crop, the wrong shape, and all that, and the right crop could add more drama and interest to the image. So I opened the image in Photoshop, which I have here, and I've duplicated it 3 times. This would be what I'd normally do in this situation. So with the first duplicate, I grab the crop tool and I set it to just the original ratio there, and I move it around to include or exclude different elements within the frame, and until I see something that I like. I kind of didn't really see anything that I like with that, leaving it at the same ratio, but I selected an option. I left it, the best option, I left it there. I moved along to my second duplicate and I selected the square crop, the 1-on-1 square, which is a crop I like. And again, I moved that around there until I, got the photograph to a place that I like. And it didn't quite work out right here either, because there's a lot of white here and we're kind of missing the pear down this side. And if I move it too far towards the pear, we're missing the mountains and the drama and the sky there. But again, I selected something that I thought was the best for a square crop. And then in the duplicate 3, I went and I selected a different crop. I selected maybe 3 times on the width and 1 time on the depth. And you can see straight away that this isn't going to work, because the pear is in it here, but the mountain and the sky is missing. If I bring the mountain and the sky into the frame, the pear is missing, the sea is missing. It's not quite right. So I changed this here up to a 2. So it's 2 times as wide as it is deep. So you can see straight away that we're getting the mountains in, we're getting the sky, we're getting the leading line of the pear, we're getting a nice bit of the sea and not too much of it. I moved it up or down until I got it to a place where I think is about right. Ordinarily I'd spend a lot more time at this. But yeah, I think that looks alright. We've got the leading line of the pear, we've included a little bit of the sea, we've got the mountains, we've got the mountain tapering off down to this edge, and a nice drama of the sky. So I'll commit that change. Generally what I do then is I'd go and I'd look back through the other crops that I've done, starting with that's uncropped. That is a slightly tighter crop. This is the square crop, and this is the panoramic crop. And you can see that there's a pretty big difference. The square crop doesn't work, so I'll just get rid of that, don't save it. I'll flick between the other a few times, until there's too much of the sea in this. I think this one works best, and that is the final crop that I decided on. It's just something that you should bear in mind when you're processing your images. Just duplicate them 2 or 3 times, try a few different crops and figure out which one you think works best. I'll include a link in the video here to a little article I have on my website about cropping. Keep an eye out next week, because I'm going to be moving the workflow and the editing process on a little bit more, where I'm going to be going a little bit beyond the basics and showing you a little bit more about how I edit my black and white and my color images. Look, thanks for watching, and see you again next week. Right, bye.